It's not over yet. With the score tied, we go to our final event.
The mantis shrimp, probably more than any other creature in the world, satisfies that unique motto. Small but deadly. Found in tropical waters from eastern Africa all the way to Hawaii, the mantis shrimp is neither a mantis nor a shrimp. They are stomatopods, distant relatives to crabs, shrimp, and lobsters, and from what we know, these stomatopods began appearing independently from other crustaceans nearly 400 years ago, which, to put into reference, is about 170 million years before the first dinosaurs even appeared in the fossil records. So they're kind of old. There's as many as 550 species of mantis shrimp that we know of, ranging from smaller than an inch to longer than a foot. These creatures are so weird in their biology that many scientists call them the shrimp from Mars. So how do we make sense of them then? Well, first, we classify them by the way that they kill their prey. Smashing or spearing. The shrimp that smash use specialized dactyl clubs to smash their prey to pieces. For example, the really famous peacock mantis shrimp. It punches so fast that it can boil water and split bone on impact. And these specialized fists plunge forward at 50 miles an hour, which is notably even faster than a .22 caliber bullet. To give you some reference, the water around their fists hits the temperature of the sun's surface for an instant. And you might think that's overkill. I'm right there with you, but there's a reason for it. One of the most common adaptations in the ocean is some sort of protective coating or shell that prevents predators from getting into the soft snack within. The mantis shrimp's clubs deliver a payload of 165 pounds of force, neutering clamshells, destroying lobster skeletons, and pretty much wrecking everything else in between. So that's smashers. The other type of mantis shrimp has two sharp spears on the front of its arms that stab into its prey. Note, spear mantis shrimp actually attack at about 10 times slower than their smashing cousins, but they have increased range and the damage is penetrating. Think of it like in a video game, like melee versus ranged attackers. You sacrifice a little bit of pure damage for bleeding and increased range. We categorize mantis shrimp by their murder techniques because they are good hunters, and hunters need great eyes. Peacock mantis shrimp have the most advanced eyes in the entire animal kingdom. Every eye has 12 different photoreceptors that allow them to see many different colors. For humans, we have 3 types of light-sensitive photoreceptor cells. Rods allow us to see non-color images in low light, cones allow us to see our red, green, and blue visible colors, and retinal ganglion cells help us to detect contrast. Mantis shrimp have far more of these types of cells than we do, more than 4 times. And because of this, they can see into the ultraviolet and infrared wavelengths. Some researchers believe that the mantis shrimp can actually perceive the world in psychedelic colors that we can't even imagine. If one is to use an analogy, a mantis shrimp eye is like a satellite. It feeds a huge amount of optical information directly into the brain without much processing, allowing them to react to surroundings very quickly. And these eyes, like satellites, are constantly spinning and roaming, allowing them to detect depth, orientation, and even locate targets independently. It's almost like instead of seeing individual frames of a video, like our vision works, mantis shrimp paint the world with 3 separate images from each eye every second. In addition to these fine visual skills, mantis shrimp can also see polarized light. Why? Perhaps for communication. The Haptosquilla trispinosa species have feathery feeding arms called maxillipeds that reflect in polarized light. And this allows this species of mantis shrimp to communicate with each other in a visual way that is completely undetectable to other creatures. Call it a secret language, if you will. Scientists currently believe that mantis shrimp have the most complex eyes in the entire animal kingdom. Okay, but enough of the science jargon. What else do we have? Why are the mantis shrimp so interesting? Well, a couple other tidbits here. California mantis shrimp even make loud, low-pitched grumbling sounds. They grunt both at sunrise and at sunset when they're most active. We're not really quite sure why they do this, but it's hypothesized that these grunts warn other creatures and attract mates. You would also be hard-pressed to find mantis shrimp in most aquariums, pretty as they can be, like the peacock mantis shrimp. That's not too hard to understand why, as their clubs can easily crack glass tanks. Even shatterproof acrylic glass can be broken under enough repeated force. Mantis shrimp are also very aggressive and territorial, so they have to be alone in that studio apartment, and that means no roommates. Mantis shrimp are important to the military. Yep, you heard that right. In high school, you learned about Newton's third law. That is, if object A exerts a force on object B, then object B also exerts an equal and opposite force on object A, something like that. So what happens to something that exerts so much force like a mantis shrimp club? Well, it also needs to be pretty tough, or it will crack under the force exerted onto it by whatever it's hitting. So how does the animal punch so hard without injuring itself at all? Interesting question, right? Scientists found that the clubs have two primary layers, a hard outer coating of hydroxyapatite, a crystal calcium phosphate ceramic layer, and under it, multiple layers of stretchy, elastic chitin as shock absorbers. Since this discovery, the US military has begun modeling carbon fiber ballistic armor after the mantis shrimp's natural club design. If special forces can learn something from the mantis shrimp, then we gotta give them some credit. These things are natural badasses. They're also really sweet to each other. Many species of mantis shrimp actually practice social monogamy, which is almost unheard of among crustaceans. This means that they choose one partner to live the rest of their lives with, sharing food, shelter, reproduction, laughs, coffee, romantic stuff. Research shows that this might be an introverted adaptation to protect the mantis shrimp couples from leaving their reefs behind and the predators in the open ocean. Mantis shrimp also have been shown to recognize individual neighbors, exert social cues, and remember how to do complex tasks like ritualized fighting. Some species even can flip themselves into a wheel and roll from tide pool to tide pool. Imagine seeing a massive punching roly-poly darting in and out of the water. It's pretty terrifying. And that's also where we're going to end today's episode. Sweet dreams. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. As always, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. Check out our marine conservation apparel store at Maredis.com to cop some sustainable merch, like this that I'm wearing, and support the ocean, all while looking clean. Remember, our motto is this: clean vibes, clean looks, clean oceans. I'll catch you next time.